race fans, welcome to another episode of Short Track Guys Podcast, brought to you by ShortTrackExclusives.com. I'm your host, Thomas Battis, alongside two other short track guys in the studio, Jim Pokrant, driver of the 07 CanQuitFishing.com sportsman, and 2021 sportsman champion at Five Flag Speedway here locally in Pensacola, Florida, and Ted Baber Video Productions, also locally here in Pensacola, Florida. It's always great to see you guys in the studio. What's up?
Greetings.
Another evening of fun.
Yeah, we've got a lot to cover too, and we actually have some on-site experience and some some other stuff coming up. I want to run down that Sportsman deal is coming up with a preview here locally at Five Flag Speedway for the Snowball Derby in the Sportsman class. November 19th will be a preview with a little prize money. We're going to get to that with Jim and the Miss Snowball Derby pageant this Friday night, November 19th at Phineas Boggs at historic Seville Quarter in downtown Pensacola. We'll get into that too. We got a little bit more information on that one. We've got an update on car counts at Snowballs and a Snowflake entry. We're going to do some recaps on some races that happened this past weekend with the Fall Brawl at Hickory Motor Speedway and a Show Me the Money series at Irvington, Alabama in Mobile, the Leaf Fields Memorial, which we were really proud to be there and excited and really privileged to be there. We're going to get to that too. We got some shout outs. We've got some upcoming events coming this weekend and the following weekend, and we're going to back it up and get into that sportsman shop. See what Jim's got going on this 07 for the preview.
Well, we're just getting her all ready for the Derby. Got practice coming up. The paint job didn't turn out as nice as I'd like for it to have for the preview, but it's okay. We're not out there to be pretty. We're out there to set some fast times and run better. So that's what we're going to do. Taking Mike Gorham out in the 343 Ben Cranford pure stock. We're going to run some laps. I'm going to drive it to make sure, I'm comfortable in it. I'd like to try it out. We're trying to get Mike faster so he has a shot at the Derby. It's going to be a good time. Y'all ought to come out and check it out. I think that y'all really enjoy being out there in the sun, enjoying some race cars going around, the camaraderie. We're all just going to hang out and have a good time, spend the day. It'd be a good day to spend the day. If you want to come out and give us a hand, hey, come on out to the track and check in with the 07 and the 343.
It's free in the stands, but you only have to pay for going to the pits.
It's 25 in the pits.
Right. So it's come on out.
Yeah.
Have a good time.
I think there's some, are we talking about the preview, right?
Yes.
Yeah, there's some prize money involved with that too.
Yes, there is. Each individual class has so much money allotted to them for the fast time of the day, throughout the day. So we'll have to see how that works.
Well,
out.
it's you pay for a transponder, and then, of course, you're going to buy tires. You're going to spend more than you're going to make, but it's the prestige. I get it. But what they're going to do is they'll have a late run in the day. It'll be towards the end of the night. They'll announce, okay, this is the money run. Be ready. And then they'll send each division out individually and see who gets it. So it's a neat idea. It's a neat concept. It would be cool to do, but I'm not spending $500 on tires to win $200. It's not economically feasible.
Wouldn't be prudent.
No, not this juncture.
Right.
So.
Yeah, well, I mean,
it's a neat deal.
It is a neat deal. It's a great concept, and I think this is like the third or fourth year that they've been doing that.
Oh, longer than that. I think 4 or 5.
Oh,
I think
really?
It's been going on a while.
So 5 years, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a neat deal. I mean, if you can afford it, that's awesome. I think it's cool to go for it. Why not?
Yeah, and that's going to be the preview Saturday, November 19th, with prize money on the line for all the classes that are going to be the fastest that day. So that's going to be followed up the next night, downtown in historic Seville Quarter at Phineas Boggs, the Miss Snowball Derby pageant, which we mentioned last year, and it is a pretty big deal.
Oh, yes.
And there are 19 contestants this year. So if that tells you it's growing just as big as a snowball, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, for its situation, yeah. And then my buddy Mike Gorham, who's driving the 343, his daughter's going to be in it. There's a bunch of young ladies that are going to try to be Miss Snowball. So I think I'm going to go down and watch Friday night just because I think it'll be neat. I've never been. That
will be the Miss Snowball Derby pageant this Friday night, November 19th at Phineas Boggs down at Seville Quarter at historic downtown Pensacola. We don't have the names, but we do know that they have now been upgraded to 107 late models in both series, pros and supers, 58 supers, 49 pros to get into the Snowflake and the Snowball Derby just to qualify. So they're going to be here all week, and they're going to be here quickly.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard through Tim Brown they're going to limit a little bit of practice because of tires.
Right.
So maybe we'll be able to hang out and not have to yell over late models running thousands of laps in practice and burning off tires,
Right.
which would make it a little more fun to be out there, because it sucks when you're out there trying to talk to your crew chief and you got to yell over late models. But it's going to be a good show, and that many cars, wow, they're gonna be packed in there like sardines,
Tech
son.
is going to be just god awful trying to get all those cars through pre-race, post-race check.
Oh, I remember one year when we were running Super Stock, and Fritz Augustine was the head tech official, and they come over the PA and said, all Super Stocks to tech. Okay, and there was probably 50 of us.
Oh, God.
So we all go down there, and the late models are here, we're here, and late model crew chiefs are cussing us, we're cussing late model crew chiefs. It was getting kind of bad. But Fritz comes over, what are y'all doing here? Your announcer announced for us to be here.
Oh, okay.
And that's back when they had one set of scales. Yeah, it was a nightmare. We were stuck. We couldn't leave because we were already wedged in there. Where were we going to go? None of us could leave. So what he had to do was break it up and just roll us through. We didn't even go through tech. He just rolled us through.
Oh.
What a nightmare. I mean, I remember years being in the mud. I mean, but we do it every year. So, I mean, there's no complaining. It's just, I've had my car in jack stands that had a river of water running underneath it because it was pouring rain. I mean, it's a snowball.
Yep.
Yeah. And what do you think, you guys? Your opinions and what your thoughts are. What do you think the Snowball Derby, winning it, means to a driver?
A ton. I mean, it can jumpstart your career like no other race can. Absolutely.
Oh, well, look at all the drivers, like I said, that are in Cup.
Yeah.
I mean, Hunter Nemechek, Chase Elliott,
Eric Jones.
I mean, and Eric Jones beat Kyle Busch in a 6-lap side-by-side duel.
And Bush was all upset about it, and we heard the story.
Yeah.
What took place after that. His wife said, well, either quit fussing or hire him.
And he hired Eric Jones, and he won the truck championship his rookie season, and went on to win the Xfinity championship. Yep. And now he's driving for GMS Petty, which he landed in that team at the right time because Jimmy Johnson's coming on board and as a part owner, so that team's going to have the money finally to run up front. I mean, Eric Jones won a race this year and had shots at several races, so that's just going to get better for him. And I'm proud of him to be at that team because you can't find anybody saying bad about Richard Petty, and it's number 43, and he won in the iconic 43.
Right.
The iconic 43 is actually 200th race.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. The 43's never won 200 races. Richard Petty has.
Right.
But that's neat, and I'm glad to see it. And winning this race means a lot to your career. It's just prestige, dude. I'm even in the lower divisions.
Yes.
I mean, for me to win that race would be the biggest race I've ever won.
Yep.
And it's still on my bucket list, still a dream, and I want it to happen. So we're going to give them all the heck they want and see what happens.
Yeah. So much more.
Well, 58 super late models and 49 pro late models, and you're going to probably have 50 or 60 plus local classes in there, albeit not at the same time. Now we got 2 classes, 3 classes, 1 or 2 nights a week. But total entries into this event for 4 nights of racing, pushing 160, 170 cars.
Yeah, at least.
I mean, the Outlaws bring a ton.
Yeah, they race on Friday, don't they? Yeah, they're pretty much on their own. So they got the modifieds, I think, run on Saturday. So it kind of spreads them out. I wish they would put another division, maybe put the trucks in with the Outlaws, let us have our own night. But it is what it is. We got to deal with it. But it all depends on the weather. I mean, if it's wet, we're going to be walking around in the mud. If it's dry, we're in pretty good shape. So. It's always a good show, always fun. Stressful on Thursday night for me, and then the rest of the weekend I spend enjoying. I already have my bottle of Crown ready to keep warm, so we're going to have a good time.
Yep. Friday night's bad.
Yeah, I mean that's really a Snowball Derby rundown or our preview actually. Yes. With the Sportsman deal in that shop, getting ready for the preview on Saturday the 19th with prize money on the line for the fastest lap that's got the transponder. We understand, but. The Miss Snowball Derby pageant the night after down in Pensacola, the Snowball entries just keep increasing. You never know who's going to show up. Maybe Chase Elliott be on the list a little bit later. Who knows?
You never know.
Let's talk about some recaps now. The Lee Fields Memorial. We were there in person. And guys, what did you take away from that big pro late model event?
Shivers.
Yeah, it was cold. That's for sure.
Brutal.
First, give a shout out to Gina for letting us go and appreciating the fact that we were there. And the car count didn't turn out like we thought it should. Great racing for what they had. I just hope that track gets better and better as it goes on, because she's trying her dangest to make it a good place. And the racing was good. I mean, the sportsman race turned out to be a kind of a barn burner, and the late model race almost ended up being stolen away from Mr. Thompson. So good show. Truck race was, that 33 truck was gone. I don't think anybody had anything for him.
Out.
But the truck that runs second was Bubba Gale, who turned him sideways, by the way. Did you see that when he jacked him one time? That dude is a legend in Pensacola and Mobile. Bubba Gale is.
I don't know if he's the guy that you want to tick off.
Oh no, I've seen him tear some people's stuff up before. He'll teach you a lesson, that's for sure. He'll give that kid a butt kicking he ain't never had.
Yeah, you go into turn 3 and you get bumped. It's a long way to the bottom.
Yeah, well, they fixed a little bit of that, but I've only been off there once in a super stock, and it was no fun, because you get down in that dark, you can't see, you don't know where you are.
Yep.
Yeah, I had to wait on the safety truck. What's the matter? I said, I can't see. Well, follow me. All right, and I followed him out of there. But yeah, good show though. Congratulations on all the winners, man. It was a great race night. It was just so cold. It was hard to get anybody in the stands. It just stinks when it's cold like this. People don't want to sit there and freeze.
No, I didn't want to stand up there on top of that tower and freeze. And that wind was cutting across that tower. It got so cold, the leg clamps on the tripod started coming loose. I was holding the camera up going, can't shoot.
Great. Well, me and Thomas had your back. We were down in the car with a heater on watching the back straightaway for you.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was animating. Ted replying on the text, then his hands are shaking because he's shivering. He can't touch the screen.
It looked like, look at somebody with cerebral palsy trying to text.
Pretty much what it was.
Yeah, pretty much. It's shaking to death. But it was cold. Man, it was nasty. Because we left Pensacola in short sleeve shirts.
Yeah.
Got to Mobile, and we went to get out, and it was like, what?
Wait a minute.
It was a 25 degree difference between here and Mobile. It was nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, you can do the congratulations to the Outlaw winner, J.J. Day. The Pro Trucks was Dustin Smith. Pro Stocks was Jimmy Hollingsworth. And then the Legacy Stock was Robert Loper, which is really a local over here in the Pure Stock class?
He's the Pure Stock champion.
And he ran a Sportsman the other night, too, as a matter of fact.
Yep.
He doubled up.
Tripled up.
Dustin almost did steal that pro late away from Grant. But, he tried, and I saw him back off and give it one last shot, and it just wasn't there. Also watched Dylan Courtney almost try to take some revenge out on somebody. He got roughed up coming out of 2. He just bailed off in turn 3, tried to get him. Fortunately, he slid up and didn't make contact, or it could have been.
Yeah, at that speed, you don't need to be doing that stuff. You'll hurt somebody.
Yeah.
But you're right about that. It was congratulations to Grant Thompson. That young man's got a future in the sport. He works very hard. He's one of the young kids that actually works on the equipment with his dad, and it's just him and his dad most of the time, and they get that car flying. His dad's good people.
I can tell they're buying fire suits every season, if not more often, because he's grown a lot from the last time I saw him.
Oh yeah, he's getting big. I remember when he was just a little squirt. Now it's like, dang, well, put a brick on top of your head to keep you from growing. That's what my dad used to tell me.
It's good times, though. Great racing.
Yeah, like I said, thank you to Gina for hosting us over there. That was an awesome thing to do.
Fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we had a great time, and it was a great show. It was a great time, all in all. We didn't think driving over from Pensacola the weather was going to hold out, but it ended up being okay, albeit head shivering a little bit. We had it taken care of down in the pits, but thank you, Gina, for all your hospitality, and we look forward to getting back with you and seeing you again sometime in Mobile.
Very soon.
Yep.
So we've got some shout outs. The Carolina Pro Late Model champion Josh Lauder. We mentioned Keith Graham and his wife controlling that series up there in the Carolinas, and what a great job they've been doing. But congrats to Josh Lauder for winning that championship. Bobby McCarty is another one that we have mentioned quite a bit. Has been selected to drive for the R&S race cars, which is Marcus Richmond and Steve Stallings in 2023, next year with the Cars Tour. So congratulations to him in that move. It's kind of a bittersweet, I understand from reading some of the words, but good luck for there, and we'll keep an eye on that Bobby McCarty stable there with R&S race cars. Joe Balash has been selected as the Director of Operations for the Stars National Series that we have mentioned here a few episodes ago, and congratulations to him, and that solidifies to me that they've got that series on the right foundation and on the right track to bring something really big to short track racing.
Very good. I would love to see a national series where you could have a local guy become a national champion. Because there's these kids coming up, but you got guys like Bubba Pollard or Stephen Nassy that could get the job done.
Right.
Matt Craig or any of those guys. It'd be cool to see them become a national champion.
I hope it works out because, like you say, the late model classes, they're a bunch of scattered different kinds of formats and people that are running, but they're not a consolidated championship, and that's what they need.
Well, and they need to make the cars affordable.
Right.
You know what I mean? Make the series where a lot of local guys like McCarty and all these guys could get a car, put it together, and come race. Mm-hmm. I think they ought to use the Midwest rules because they're cheaper. In my opinion, that's what Bubba told them, not to mess with the Midwest, because right now their late model racing is killing it.
Well, do you think there might be a series, and we've gotten into this discussion before, even, before we got started, and maybe I touched it in an episode or two ago, about the difference with the late models on dirt and the money that's going in. Is there a series out there that might compete with that, to have that money brought in with a big sponsor, like the Dirt Late Model Series? Hopefully, like the National Series.
Well, hopefully the Stars will do it because, they got the right people in place and it's going to be pretty big. It's not going to be regional. It's going to be national. So they got to get the money, and I think they can do it. Like I said before, the difference between a dirt late model and asphalt late model is asphalt late models cost more to race, but there's cup money in there. So the purses don't mean anything to the drivers. They're just here getting experience so they can move up.
Right, yeah.
Dirt late model racing, those guys are out there making a living. So, yeah, it may show they made $800,000, but how much did they spend in fuel and expenses? And then they have to pay for their, got to pay themselves, pay their guys. It's.
And they've got dozens of races they run.
Oh, some run 50, 60, 70 races a year. So if you divide all that up, it's, but these guys make a living. And I love to go to dirt late model racing because it's fun to watch those guys race and, beating and banging and swapping paint just like they do on asphalt. But, asphalt racing needs a shot in the arm, especially late models, and hopefully the Star Series will be the one that does it.
Well, those are just a few of the shout-outs that we've run down. We've got a few more we're going to put out next Wednesday with the Port City shout-out, because a lot of Port Cities, from what I understand, and a lot of the media that's coming my way, a lot of this Port City stuff is coming down on the pull-down for the Snowball Derby and the Snowflake. So watch out, Port City and that Bubba Pollard stable and that whole crew.
Oh, yeah. It's good. All the chassis manufacturers, the good ones will be represented. Fury, Seneca, all the big names will be there. And that's Dylan. Well, Dylan's no longer around.
Gark,
Grand American Race, old Augie Grill.
Augie Grill, yeah.
Yeah, Augie will probably drive one this year.
He's in both races.
Is he? So's Bubba. I noticed that Bubba signed up for the Alan Turner race. He didn't do it last year, but he's in there for the Alan Turner. So he's bringing two cars. Hey, that's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be a good race.
He's won the Snowflake, what, 2 times?
Twice, yes.
Yeah.
Would have been a third time if Nassy hadn't spun him out, but we won't go there.
No, because Nassy is now one of the premier, if not growing premier short track drivers in the country. And,
he is.
He's mellowed out. He's gotten his head back on top, so where he can race level headed, and you're more successful if you don't just try to tear everybody's stuff up all the time.
Yeah. Just be smart.
Be smooth.
Be smart, smooth, and fast.
Well, I'm going to bring up a name that we have mentioned. It's been quite a while because we haven't really touched on 417 Speedway down in Punta Gorda, Florida, with Jesse Dutilli. I met a couple of his friends. I think it was his first trip to Snowball Derby in that 30 car.
30 car,
yeah,
car
30 car.
30.
And I got to know him and started following him, and we started covering 417. And I think Michael House is one of the drivers down there. Or is it Michael Atwell?
Atwell, number 51, yeah.
Okay, well, I don't have any names that I'm familiar with for 417 coming to the Snowball Derby, but they have a big race coming up on the 26th, which is Saturday. It is the Bill Bigley Super Late Model 128 Memorial, $30,000 to win at 417 Southern Speedway, and we kind of look for Jennifer Brinson to put something back up on Facebook that we get a little preview, and I kind of missed that because we watched it consistently,
right?
And but that's a big race coming up, and you don't want to miss that because some of those drivers may end up coming up late entries here.
Oh yeah, well, Jared Irvin was the Ernie Irvin's son was the track champion at 417 in super late models. He's going to be in that Billy Bigley Memorial race. I mean, it's going to be a barn burner. It's $30,000. That's a lot of money.
Yeah,
That's a big chunk for that little old racetrack. So look forward. And Billy Bigley was a heck of a race car driver. I remember him racing the All Pro Super Series back in the day.
yeah. That's the Bill Bigley Super Late Model 128 Memorial. 30,000 to win November 26th this Saturday night. 417 Southern Speedway. Wow, we look forward to keeping up with that because there's going to be some big names down there. We've got one more on the docket here in the South Carolina 400 at Florence. We all know a couple of big names are going to be in that. They're already in it, and we've seen a couple of their cars at pretty sporty. Was formerly known as the Myrtle Beach 400. Ty Majeski has won the last two South Carolina 400s, but Dale Earnhardt Jr. headlines the event with that number 3 Bass Pro Shops car.
That's cool. That is really cool because I'm going to tell you, he is excited. I've been listening to his podcast, and he's excited about it after he did so well at North Wilkesboro. Yeah. And he had the crowd on their feet. There was people they were talking about said they thought the grandstands were going to collapse when he passed this. He passed got to second. He just didn't want to pressure Quapple. I believe he probably could have won it had he kept going. Well, this one doesn't count for the Cars Tour Championship, so it's let them all hit the floorboard and let her drag, son. Because I mean, the dude's got a ton of talent. I always thought he did. I mean, everybody said he was spoon-fed, and if you ever listen to him, his dad didn't give him a dang thing. He worked for everything he had because his dad would have took it away from him. So that's going to be a good show, and it's going to be a good field of cars.
Real good crowd, too.
Yeah. I got some other entries with Bobby Tumbleston III, which we had talked about, I think, in a street stock race not too long ago. Brendan Queen, Caden Honeycutt, Connor Jones, Matt Craig, and Katie Hettinger. Just a few in that race coming up. With the South Carolina 400, and that, I mean, you want to talk about stellar fields. Every race we talk about are drivers that they're just really, really good.
Tons of talent.
Well, the thing about it is that you're not out of talent in super late model racing. It's just you got to have the money to do it.
Right.
It ain't like it was back in the day when you built your own late models and you could run them all across the Southeast. Ain't none of that no more.
No.
You got to have that money.
It helps.
It takes money, it takes help, it takes friends, it takes family, it takes time. It takes everything to make it, and I think that's what maybe winning a feature makes you feel so good about it.
Oh yeah, definitely. You work nights in the garage till 2 a.m, and you load the car at 6 a.m. with the starter because you can't crank it up in the neighborhood you live in. And you've been up all night and you're tired, and you go to work and you work all day, and you go to the racetrack, and the satisfaction of unloading your race car, making laps, and then when you finally break through and win a feature.
You're just all giggly.
Oh, man. I mean, I had to go 2 hours from home to win my first one, but I remember my first Five Flags feature, I led wire to wire. I qualified, and we did the invert, and I started on the pole, and I won the race. And it was funny is because the guy that paid to help get my motor built I beat him. He run second that night, Bo Resmondo.
Yep.
And I'll never forget it because I'd come off the corner and my spotter's like, he's about 2 cars back. I could see a shadow on the wall and I knew where he was. And I beat him. And the guy that built the motors had a 1-2 finish. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, you're absolutely right, man. Winning a race, there's nothing like it, man. I mean, being in a race car for a long time like I was without a win was cool. But when you finally break through and you win one,
whole different ball.
Oh, it makes that crack 1,000 times worse, man. You're just willing to get what you got to get the race car on the track and go faster. So short track is the best sport in the world. And if you don't believe me and you're a big NASCAR fan, take your butt to a Saturday night short track and watch the guys that pull in an old beat up pickup truck that work for a living. Their hands are greasy. They get in the car and they drive. They pop a beer after the race and talk to the fans, and those are the neatest guys in the world, man. They're fun to watch. And I'm one of them, and I'm proud and love every second of it.
Well, it's always a good time. We're not going to be in the studio next Wednesday. We want to wish happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. Yeah, Thursday, we're gonna enjoy the festivities and eat turkey and reminisce with the family. We're gonna throw some little short track racing in the conversation, I'm sure, but we will catch up with everything the following week. But certainly want to throw out a happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to y'all. And the week after that is the Snowball Derby, and we will we will do a video from the racetrack Wednesday night when we do our
Green flag,
green flag party.
Yep.
And then and Tuesday night, don't forget Hooters,
right?
Pensacola Beach, the pre-race party. Everybody come out and see your drivers. There's a lot of drivers going to be there, so it's a fun night.
Yeah, have everybody come out the 19th and check Jim out with his preview.
Yeah, please come out and help support us. And if you would love to, we'd love to have you Tuesday night out there. Come out and meet your favorite driver.
Right, you'll be a bunch of them out there.
Oh yeah, come on out and enjoy a beer. Enjoy Hooters, have something to eat, and sit down and talk to us. Or we'll be there, short track guys. We'll be there. Yeah. So come on out.
Yeah, it's always great to get you guys in the studio and talk short track racing. We all get excited about it, and I know the notes flow back and forth throughout the week to get things ready. It's always a pleasure, and I can't thank you guys enough. And I think Ted's going to do the honors, or maybe Jim. I don't know. We flip a coin.
Oh, for the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
okay, we'll do it. 1, 2, 3.
Let's go, Brandon.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thanks for listening.